All my tattoos I get from me. I don't get my tattoos for anybody else. Marshmallow on a stick has absolutely zero meaning, except my friend's wife was a tattoo apprentice and she needed to practice. So like there's varying degrees of, I got this tattoo because my wife's lips, this means something to me, my deceased dog who I love very much, and then marshmallow on a stick. So there's different levels. My first tattoo is on my left calf. It is the album cover from the album Energy from a band called Operation Ivy. They're a punk ska group that only lasted about 3 years out of the Bay Area. And they evolved later, turned into the band Rancid. I think a friend of mine at the time wanted to get her belly button pierced, and I walked into this tattoo shop with her and got my first tattoo. I embarked on this life of debauchery, I suppose. I think if you're being honest, you question why you're doing it. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? This hurts. But there's definitely something about it. Tattoos being 100% so personal and subjective, I think is kind of what drew me to it. Nowadays, you go outside and teenagers got face tattoos and like all kinds of wacky shit. It used to just kind of be like a biker thing, an outlaw thing. I think it's way more nowadays, more widely accepted. But yeah, back when I got my first tattoo, I was the devil, apparently. I guess I would assume the tattoos that get the most attention are the ones that you can visibly see, like ones on my hands, on my fingers. This is what we call a job killer. Job killers are tattoos that are highly visible and things that you normally would not see people who have quote unquote real jobs have. So anything in the face, anything on the neck, hands, that's normally off limits. The no gimmicks needed tattoo, and it's very faded now. There's a red rocket behind the lettering, and that is a symbol of a band called Rocket from the Crypt that I'm a huge fan of. Supposedly for a long time, if you had the rocket symbol tattooed on you, you gain free access to Rocket from the Crypt shows. I never actually had to cash in that favor. I don't mind spending money on things I enjoy. But no gimmicks needed was kind of like a moniker and a gimmick, if you will, of a wrestler named Chris Candido, who I became close to prior to his death. I just felt the need to memorialize him because he was somebody who fell into the traps that a lot of the wrestlers do with the drugs and the alcohol and everything, but he had cleaned up, turned his life around. In a lot of ways, was on the forefront. Like, he laid the groundwork for a guy like me to be able to, when territories dried up, to be able to still go around and be an accomplished traveled wrestler on the indies. No gimmicks needed for my buddy Chris Candido, and also gimmicks, kind of a slang for, you know, pills or drugs. So couple different meanings on that one, and yeah, I got it right on my hand because, you know, a lot of the ones, like the drug-free on my hand, it really was honestly less about the words drug-free and more about I'm getting these tattoos on my knuckles because I do not have a plan B. There is no other option. This is my dream. I want to be a wrestler. So I was gonna make it no matter what. This is what I want to do, and it really kind of grounds me and helped me focus to get to, obviously, where I'm at now. I guess I'd be remiss to not mention the Pepsi tattoo. I think maybe that one probably, historically, over time, has gotten the most attention. The story with the Pepsi tattoo is there is a band called Minor Threat. It started in the early 80s in Washington, D.C. That's widely known to have started the straight edge subculture. And the guitarist Brian Baker was asked in an interview I read while I was in detention, do you have a Coca-Cola tattoo? Why do you have a Coca-Cola tattoo? And his response was, I like Coca-Cola. And I was like, that's just punk rock right there, you know? Like, I don't like Coke, I like Pepsi. You know, I'm a Midwest kid at heart, so I got a Pepsi tattoo. That tattoo represents me being straight edge, and that's really kind of it. I know it seems silly to put a corporate logo on yourself, but it really has a deeper meaning, and it means so much more to me than just, you know, soft drink. It's funny, like if I'm at Target, it's always an older woman. Well, you know, just politely ask me like, "Oh, how many tattoos do you have?" And I always just say, I have one really big tattoo. Square footage wise and time wise, I think my chest was, because it's not like you go in and, well, maybe some people do. I don't know. I'm gonna get my chest done, but today we're just gonna do half of it. Doesn't happen that way. You get in and you get blasted from left to right, front to center, top to bottom. This is definitely Japanese inspired. I'm just a fan of the Japanese artwork, snakes, dragons, skulls, all that kind of stuff. And I kind of flip-flopped on, do I want a chest piece? Do I want a back piece? One day on TV, you're bare-chested, and then the next week, you got dragons and skulls on your chest, It's easy to go in and sit 2 hours, get a tattoo. When you're working on sleeves, when you have an idea for stuff and you have some bigger pieces and you really kind of need an artist to tie it all together and fill stuff in, those sessions can get pretty brutal. Those are when you're sitting in a chair, your ass falls asleep, which is sometimes a good thing because you pay more attention to that than the area that's getting torn up. I know the left arm was kind of 6 hours, and after a while, it's less about the tattoo and getting drilled. It's more about your positioning. Sitting in a chair for 4 hours like this, you really become very self-aware of like your body and your positioning and how you're like, oh well, yeah, that hurts. I can't feel my face anymore. Like, I don't know what's going on. So, but you never want to take breaks because breaks are the worst. Everything hurts exponentially more after you take a break. Yeah, I think because of duration and area, I think my chest was definitely the most painful. There were moments when I was getting my chest tattoo where I questioned my reality. The one behind my ear, which really technically is on my skull, was next level. But it's small enough to where I was like, I can survive this. It's top 3 most meaningful tattoos that I have that are near and dear to me. It represents my family. Every sibling has a color, and the family number is 31. The number was just Dad's jersey number, which was adopted by everybody. So his little sisters play softball, soccer. They all were so moved they went out and got the same tattoo. So we all have it, just in different areas. I got my wife's lips on my wrist. So a lot of times, if you see me in the ring and I do one of those, I'm saying hi to my wife. I have my Dalmatian. After we had to put her down, I have her paw print. The Bruce Lee inspired is all the water on my left arm. So that was the sleeve idea that kind of tied some of the bigger pieces I had together. The water, because Bruce Lee famously says, "Be like water," and that's something that I have that resonated with me. And I famously am like water. Sometimes I flow, sometimes I freeze, sometimes I crash. Sometimes I'm still. The whole luck is for losers thing. There's a horseshoe, there's a ace of spades, some cards, there's dice, all kinds of things that relate to luck. Well, the 13's on the opposite elbow. I don't believe in luck. I believe in hard work, and I believe in myself. I believe in the human spirit. Have I been lucky in my life? Well, I suppose, but I am of the belief that I always train, to when the pressure's on, I don't necessarily rise to the occasion. I sink to the level of my training, and like that's not luck. I didn't fall out of the sky, luck into this job. I wasn't a rapper that became a wrestler because somebody offered it to me. It was my dream since I was a little kid. Marshmallow on a stick has absolutely zero meaning, except my friend's wife was a tattoo apprentice and she needed to practice. So like there's a varying degrees of, I got this tattoo because this is my wife's lips, this means something to me, my deceased dog who I love very much, and then marshmallow on a stick. So there's different levels. I have lost tattoo bets, and people, I'm a man of my word to a fault. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I have lost tattoo bets that people don't even know I followed through with. So I just, for my peace of mind, like I kept my word, but they don't know about it, so they can't rub it in my face. Now they might watch this and be like, "Hey, am I one of those?" And I'm just gonna mind your own business. Eddie Graham was a wrestler and a promoter. He ran championship wrestling from Florida. He is somebody who taught Dusty Rhodes everything that Dusty knew. As a promoter, he's somebody I look up to. Brilliant, tremendous ideas, innovative for his time, but a very, very tragic story. Unfortunately, Eddie committed suicide. Eddie's son committed suicide. I got to wrestle his son one time, and this is the craziest match I think I've ever been in, because it's me, Abdullah the Butcher, and Kevin Sullivan, with our manager, I think Harley Race, wrestled Mike Graham, Eddie Graham's son, Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes, with Sir Oliver Humperdinck as their manager, who inexplicably during the match did a double turn, because I remember Harley punching me for some reason. Mike Graham was this old timer who, you know, was kind of like, "Why are you on this show, kid? Let's see what you can do," and like, let's call it in the ring kind of thing. And I was happy to do it, you know. But he had a tattoo, you know, because unfortunately, Mike's son committed suicide. So there's a lot of tragedy here. But he kind of, after that, started getting tattooed. He was obviously in a lot of pain, but tattooing maybe helped him get through that. His father, very famously, I think, wrote a check one time at a liquor store, and in the memo, he wrote "peace of mind." So I got kind of an updated version of a tattoo that Mike had, which was very like 80s metal, like skull fire kind of thing. And I got the caption "peace of mind." And I got all that because during the time I was coming back to WWE was pretty tumultuous, was a lot of ups and downs, and I think I finally settled on into a nice little space where, you know, I got my peace of mind. You know, we're gonna go ahead and talk about it. So I got this one, which is very dark. Black roses, cobwebs. There's a coffin with an upside down cross on it and a candle with an extinguished flame. I got that the week of SummerSlam in Los Angeles when I wrestled Brock Lesnar. And that is 100% a representation of how I was feeling at the time. Without really kind of knowing it, but in talking through with my friend who did the tattoo, I realized, the passion I have for this is gone. The flame has been extinguished. So I got that tattoo, and, you know, I go out and I wrestle Brock Lesnar, and I have one of the best matches of my life. And without even really kind of realizing it, I got the peace of mind tattoo directly above it because I got my passion back. I got my peace of mind. I am a professional wrestler, and I celebrate my roots. I got a Harley Race peacock. I got Harley Race's crown. You know, Harley was a mentor to me. He taught me stuff that I will not talk about to you on camera, you know? It's stuff that civilians don't need to know. Harley taught me how to carry myself, how to be believable, and just by being around him, you know? Like, I met Harley when he was long retired, you know, but I was a guy that he told me, anytime you want to work one of my shows, you're booked. I can get paid more staying closer to home, but I'm gonna drive to Kansas City. I'm gonna drive to Eldon, Missouri, because Yeah, I'm getting paid less money, but the knowledge I'm getting from Harley was just, I mean, to this day, a lot of what you see me do on screen on Raw on Netflix is influenced by what would Harley Race do, you know? And I could ask him a million questions and annoy him until he told me to stop asking him questions, you know? I have a few bro tats. At least one friend, oftentimes more than one, will say, "Hey, let's go get tattoos. What do you want to get? We're gonna get this." And sometimes they're planned out, and sometimes they're spur of the moment. And the Masawa boot, I really feel like he's a great wrestler. Yes, what he did, I think, for wrestling as a whole, being president, owner, operator, whatever you want to call it, of Noah, and he died in the ring. I really felt like it was like such a monumental loss to wrestling. And as the landscape changes, names fade out. I doubt a lot of people watching this know who Mitsuhiro Misawa is, but that's the brilliant thing about Google. You can Google him and you can watch him. I always had an affinity for Japanese wrestling. Wrestling in Japan was a great thrill for me. Ace was booked on I don't know how many Noah tours. So Misawa was his boss, and he was just like, "Can you hook me up? And I want to, get a Misawa tattoo." And I was just like, "Oh, you should get his little boot, his emerald boot." And I was like, "If you're gonna do it, I'm gonna do it." And it's really just purely out of respect. Man, my legs are naked. Yeah, I got so much room on my legs. My wife keeps telling me that my back is off limits. I really kind of want a back piece. The older you get, the more they hurt, though. So it's like I could see myself maybe not getting the back piece. As far as my next tattoo, I kind of want to get my knees done for some really stupid reason. That's probably going to be really, really painful. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I don't have anything super in mind yet. I think it's probably safer to say that my next tattoo has a better chance of being like a spontaneous thing. When it comes to having things. I don't really have a whole lot of things. I don't spend my money. I don't buy cars. I've been kind of a nomad my entire life, just hopping around, wrestling, going here. You go where you get paid, and I've moved around a lot, so I don't really have possessions. But the tattoos are very much that. They're snapshots of destinations along your journey. A lot of the tattoos I have, like some of my favorite ones personally, I could tell you, who I was with, how it happened, why it happened. I think that's why I'm probably a little bit more engaged doing this interview and this show, because this is fun for me. This is subject matter that interests me. And I do enjoy talking about it, because if I'm talking about my tattoos, I'm normally talking about things and people and places that I love.